Surprises. Really maybe the only surprise at the very top where LSU jumped Ohio State. Here are the results of this week's Capital One fan vote. The fans agreed with the committee's decision to put LSU at the #1 spot. Following the Tigers' domination of Georgia in the SEC championship game, 72% of voters believe LSU, in fact, did deserve the top spot. LSU will play Oklahoma in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. 4 wins against the committee's top 12 teams, a big reason why the Bayou Bengals are the #1 seed heading into this tournament. What did Coach Orgeron have to say about that decision and the challenges ahead? He spoke with Marty.
Coach O, the College Football Playoff Committee says the LSU Tigers are the #1 team in the land. First, what's your reaction to them naming you guys #1?
You know, we're happy to be in the playoffs, and anywhere, anytime, anybody, we're ready to go.
I know it just happened, so you haven't studied Oklahoma a lot yet, but just a general view of what they do and what they do well.
Obviously dynamic, great. We played against Jalen Hurts before, great football player, great on offense. Their defense has improved. Lincoln Riley has done a great job. They have great athletes. They prepare well. It's going to be a hell of a challenge.
You noted facing Jalen Hurts before. It was right across the street from where we're standing. You're an interim head coach. He's a true freshman, and he played extremely well that night. What does he do well that can change a game?
Well, from what I remember, he extends plays with his feet. He's like a big tailback back there. He moves well, can throw the ball well. He's an excellent quarterback.
You're going right back to Atlanta, Georgia, where we just were last night. What's the comfort level in that building since you've been there before?
Yeah, well, it was our first time for a lot of guys. Obviously, we did well. They'll know that they feel comfortable going there. We have a great practice plan, and we'll be ready to play.
How do you describe what this opportunity is for the state of Louisiana?
It's a phenomenal opportunity. I'm so happy for all the players that played here before, for all the ex-Tigers, for everybody puts in all the hard work and the great state of Louisiana.
Last night, Grant Delpit told me that Joe Burrow was the reason you guys are the #1 team in the country. How do you define what Joe's done this season, and why will he win the Heisman?
Phenomenal, but he's surrounded by a great offensive line. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has had a great year. His receivers had a great year. He's well coached, but I do believe he's the best player in the country.
Last thing, what is this team's goal right now?
Win the next game.
What is this team's goal right now?
Win the next game.
Okay, go ahead, say it.
Go Tigers.
Have a great day. Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Well done by Marty Smith. We welcome our pal Jim Mora, the head coach here, to the set, along with Jonathan Vilma. What'd you think about that answer, huh? What's your goal? To win the next game, he said.
That's a typical coach answer. That's a man who's going to keep his team focused. He's done it all year, and he's not going to change his philosophy now, and that was the right answer. And I bet you that if you talk to their players, that's the answer you'd get from every one of them.
JV, he alluded to seeing Jalen Hurts. Now, obviously, circumstances were very different, the personnel very different, but that familiarity with seeing Hurts once before, any impact on this game at all?
Well, I look at the impact the other way around, the familiarity that Jalen Hurts has with LSU's defense. And, you know, you can have some of the Oklahoma players maybe in awe because of the SEC and the speed and athleticism. Jalen Hurts has been there, done that. Matter of fact, he never lost to LSU, right? So this is home for him. This is easy for him to say, easy in the sense that I already know what to expect from an SEC team, an SEC game. I know the physicality that's going to come with it. I just need to go out there and execute and then relay that to my guys and my teammates that this is a very winnable game.
Coach, you know, we sat up on Saturdays together on the desk. We shared the desk. And early on, we were all in on Oklahoma. And then as the season went on, boy, we kind of said, I don't know about – you had questions about the defense.
I had questions midseason about the defense. I really did. And even into last week, and I think that they answered them yesterday. Now, my question is this, is playing defense is not an on-off switch. You have to constantly play with a high level of intensity and emotion and passion. You have to be willing to put your chest on somebody. You have to be willing to knock someone down. Knock someone down. I know that'll get you in trouble right there.
Yeah, that'll get you a fine.
Down. But if Oklahoma can bring the same intensity, the way they tackled, and the way they swarmed, the way they hunted up the football to the Peach Bowl as they did to the game yesterday, then they have a legitimate chance. But if they can't, if they arm tackle, if they're lunging, if they don't play with that great energy, it's going to be a really long game for them.
Yeah, I agree. And we're talking about complementary defense because their weakness is the secondary. And if you need to help out the secondary, then that means you need to get pressure on the quarterback. And as you talked about the 6 sacks yesterday, the constant pressure the defensive line, the linebackers got, they have to do that. Like, there's no choice. Right. So much so, you might as well just start blitzing and continue blitzing and don't stop blitzing, right? You got to find a way to help out that secondary.
Well, there was red all over the field yesterday. When you watched it, every time, wherever the ball was, there was a lot of red. And, I don't know that blitzing is necessarily the answer. I think that when you start to say they need to be aggressive on defense, people equate that to blitzing and pressuring. I think it's a mindset. I think it's an attacking mindset that you carry into a game. So, but they are going to have to put pressure. You certainly can't, with that secondary, as you said, they can't just stand back there and let Burrow,
especially
those
with
receivers pick.
You give Burrow 4 or 5 seconds, it's a touchdown.
I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye, Greg is at the touchscreen. He's cooking something up. Greg, what do you got about this LSU team?
The thing about Joe Burrow, the accuracy is what we always describe, right? But I think there's something really unique about his skill set that's made him very difficult to defend. It's his legs. He's not necessarily going to beat you with a ton of speed, but he's really crafty when given the opportunity to run the football, and his knowledge of the offense is truly remarkable. So you look at this play. This is a critical down and distance against Alabama. All right, piece of cake, zone read. All right, zone read, not really a whole lot to look at. All he's watching is this defensive end. Does he come and run flat, chasing the running back who's trying to attack it front side? Man coverage in the back end, too, because of the personnel, which means those eyes are not on the quarterback. Therefore, you look at him. He pulls it, no problem. He's in space, and he can make a guy miss. Big third down conversion there against Alabama. As we go a little bit further, though, it's the mental aspect of Joe Burrow that has been so incredible. Understanding where he might have some issues and some problems within the protection and being able to beat inside and internal pressure. This is a cover zero look. Coach, you know this one for sure, all right? You look at this cover zero look, you're going to see a defender for Alabama attack right in the A-gap. In this particular case, he has one guy that is going to be unaccounted for off the pressure. That one guy is number 33. In a perfect world, the offensive line would save him and try to slide it down, but they didn't. No problem, because he understands where his outlet is. His outlet is Clyde Edwards-Helaire working on a quick little route to beat that blitz coverage, called a hot route. Piece of cake. Get it out, no problem. Beats the rush. Clyde Edwards-Helaire on 3rd and 10, make a guy miss. Not a problem. He's able to do that. Huge third down conversion there in the Alabama game. His understanding of all the different concepts and his legs make him very difficult to defend, and then the accuracy on top of it with the playmakers that he has on the perimeter. Good luck stopping this LSU offense.
I'm glad you mentioned the playmakers. I'm curious to get your take. Burrow's been sensational, right? He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's been the story of college football this year. But those playmakers that he has between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, I mean, how much better has he made them, or how much better have they made him?
Well, I think it's obviously all together, right? I mean, it's an offense that can attack you and put you in a lot of problem situations. We mentioned Chase, who I think is the best receiver in football, should win the Biletnikoff Award later this week. So I think he's going to be well rewarded for the season that he's had. Terrace Marshall's really long, really difficult. And then you mentioned Jefferson in the slot, really tough. But the two guys that are almost impossible to defend for this LSU team, Thaddeus Moss, who is big and physical and a tone setter. I also think he's the unsung hero of this LSU offense. Randy Moss's son, but he's willing to block, he's willing to do the dirty work, and when you get him matched up with the safety, his size and his speed can create a lot of issues for the opposing defense. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Guys, he's Darren Sproles. We talk about how this transition was because of Joe Burrow's ability to think and be accurate. It was as much about Clyde Edwards-Helaire's ability to be a factor in the passing game, and he's been incredible in that regard. Couple that with the way he can run between the tackles. I think the matchups that they're going to have to account for, Oklahoma's defense that is, are going to be really difficult to defend.
There'll be a lot of digging into that playbook, the game plan, figuring it all out here in the days and weeks ahead. Greg, many thanks. Okay, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl is set. That matchup locked into place. It'll be the Memphis Tigers and the Penn State Nittany Lions squaring off there. James Franklin, by the way, gets a brand new fat deal to stay at Happy Valley. That's good news for the Penn State faithful.
That's great news for the Penn State faithful. He's done a great job recruiting. He's done a great job building that program. There's still, just just almost over the hump, right? They're so close. And he has a lot of young guys on that team, so I believe they can take that next step. I'm very excited to see this matchup. And, of course, Norville, he has the new head coaching job with FSU, but you talk about a tremendous job he did at Memphis.